Hello everybody, good evening. Welcome to the stream. It's me, DIGI Driver, and today is Wednesday, October 16th. It's about 10:46 p.m. Hopping on for a quick stream tonight just to chill. Miss Digi told me to rest, go stream, so I'm here. I will probably do a little bit of flying and then maybe mess around with some textures at Lafayette before I call it a night. Meowdy, Wendo, great to see you, friend. Welcome aboard. I am pleased to have you aboard in chat for the first time. Welcome. I have been off and on in Microsoft Flight Simulator, especially over the past month, trying to work on Lafayette, but also just experimenting, trying a few different vectors and trying to enjoy some time. Also, just been, busy dealing with life, but taking it one step at a time. So welcome, and welcome to Microsoft Flight Sim FS 2020. FS 2024 is inbound. I have pre-ordered the standard edition, and I'm looking forward to seeing how career mode works, along with realistically, I am going to be working on scenery development for FS 2024, not officially for any company, just so that I can actually, put some product out there. I need to learn some of the things like the new requirements for levels of detail, but I'll take it step by step. First thing we'll do though is we'll have some fun, a little bit of fun, just to rest up a bit. Ooh, wow, that's Bora Bora. Oh, look at that. A little bit of island flying, Digi? I don't know. Maybe? What are these things? I don't think I've been there. But I also like Lord Howe Island. I haven't been here in a little bit. This is by AU Scenery. I think I'm going to take the Shock Ultra and have a little bit of fun, and then see where else we go from here. Absolutely. I didn't even see that message, but yeah, definitely. Hope you're still here. I'm not sure if my bandwidth is good or not, but we'll take it a step at a time. Looks like I'm okay right now, though. Definitely. Yeah, like I said, let's go ahead and fire this up. It's not a big island, so technically a Shock Ultra shouldn't be that much of a departure from usual fare. I might try the Savage Cub, or I might even try something just a touch faster. But it's probably going to be a prop plane. I'm not going to go for anything extremely fast. I'd almost even go flying a helicopter. But let's see, what can I do? I would say if just a stock SR-22 might do it. But tell you what, we're going to go with a diamond, because I like flying the diamond. And there we go, there's my call sign. Not call sign, but registration. And November Zulu Mike Foxtrot. You know what? Let's go find that. November Zulu Mike Foxtrot. Milford Sound. Ooh. All right. Let's take in Milford Sound from the air. So, just gonna do a little bit of flying tonight, folks. Maybe a little dev. We'll see. There we go. All right. Setting up my alternate screen. And oh my word, I completely forgot that this is actually the, Wait, that doesn't make sense. Does it? No. This place should be super green. Unless I'm wrong. Does that make sense? Hold on. Well, no. That actually might make sense. Yes. So, don't mind me. Slightly out of it. Lights on. Live weather screws it up. You know what? Let's take the live weather off then. If we're just gonna mess around for fun, we'll take live weather off. There we go. Ooh, this looks a little bit nicer. I am using latest Bing imagery. Take the parking brake off. All right, that should be good. Positive rake gear is welded. Wow. Well, just flirting with a stall.
Don't sink, don't sink, don't sink, don't sink, don't sink.
Hey, yeah, definitely don't want to. Wow. I'm flying in front of a 40-inch TV, so I kind of have to pull my head back if I don't want to get motion sick, but wow, the view is beautiful. Let's get some altitude. The satellite imagery might be a little bit weird, but is what it is. It's beautiful down there. I'm already glad I showed up. Yeah, not bad for whatchamacallit, bundled scenery. Right, and we're heading eastbound right now, so I'm probably just gonna climb. I don't think I'm gonna make it past that mountain in this thing. Good recommendation, Wendo. These pretty big hills. They're called mountains, DIGI. Wow. I can imagine that the topography and the texturing and mesh are going to improve possibly by an order of magnitude with FS 2024. I don't know. because the tech alphas that were released over the weekend, I don't think you were able to go everywhere, but I mean, just the sense of scale out here makes me feel small in this airplane. Maybe that's just me. Welcome, everybody. We are in MSFS and we're flying in New Zealand. Taking a break tonight just to have a little bit of fun, fly GA, playing around, see what we can find. So, does this have a nearest button? I thought there was a nearest button. Pilot, co-pilot, menu. There we go, nearest. And I can always zoom this out. Ah, I see. So if I get past this mountain range, there's an airport on the other side. Climbing would be a pretty good idea right about now. I'm going to try pitching for 10 degrees. But I don't think I'm going to make it. I think I'm going to have to keep circling around. We're not going that way, that's for sure. But what I do find interesting is how the latest Bing imagery makes these mountains look. So, there's the wall. If I keep circling, kind of like a vulture, I might make my way up to about 6,000 feet before I know it. So we'll see. We'll see if we can get above these mountains, and then we'll make it to the other airport. If we don't take too long, we might check another airport out up the coast. Or what I might do is I might stop at that airport and do a little bit of, groundwork at KLTF. Wow, this thing wants to climb. Am I catching some lift off the mountains? Maybe? Wow. I don't think I do enough mountain flying. I certainly don't fly New Zealand enough, that's for sure. Look at that rock face. Almost makes me want to go hang gliding or flying IRL. Wow, and this is with like just a gentle 5-degree slope, 5-degree angle of climb. I am essentially firewalling the throttle. But yeah, I do feel like I'm getting some lift off the mountains. And now I think we can continue. Definitely higher than I was before. Let's see if we can make it over that cliff. Excuse me, over that rock face. I don't think we're going to, unless we keep a constant rate of climb and unless we keep getting lift off these mountains, which would be superb if we could. Otherwise, we're going to make an unintended landing. Yeah, seriously though, not bad for the updated Bing imagery. I'll take it. Okay, chances are good we're going to make it. We're at 6,000 feet, we're climbing slowly, but we're keeping our airspeed up. Yep, stick your hand out the window, grab some snow on the way up. That's for sure. Whee! Oh yeah, no question. These mountains are definitely giving off some unintended lift. Wow. Are you kidding me right now? This is beautiful. Why don't I do more flights like this? This is unreal. So now, November Z Mike Juliet is probably, let's see, how far away? That doesn't show. Oh, it's like about maybe 10-ish, 20-ish nautical miles away. It would be, I guess, down the riverbed all the way out to the coast. So, I guess the question is, do we land or do we keep going? We could go all the way up to November Z, Quebec, was that Uniform? Which is further up the way. I don't know. Longest runway is grass. Nice. Well, I think I'd have time to get down there. So basically, it's at the southern or the northern terminus of the lake. Let's overfly it and then go to November Z Quebec Uniform. There we go. Got a gentle descent going now. That's fine. Wendo, really appreciate you stopping by tonight. It's a privilege having you aboard. It's been a privilege working on Lafayette Regional. It's been an airport that I've visited a couple times, but I didn't really think about editing or creating for Microsoft Flight Sim until now. I'm trying to be more diligent about doing scenery dev and also trying to take care of other stuff IRL. So I look forward to doing more of that work. And depending on whether or not I'm home and doing Cross the Pond this weekend, I might be able to possibly do a lazy Cross the Pond in MSFS multiplayer and fire up Blender at the same time and start to work on custom assets for the airport, like the entryway, that area at the I guess the airport entrance where you have that multicolored awning thing, which looks cool. There's also, I guess, some scenery development training that I have to undergo. Not official, but just saying because of the fact that if you create scenery in FS 2024, I forget exactly how this works. You're either going to have levels of detail on your scenery objects, or in order for you to release on the marketplace, you'll have to do that. Doesn't even appear in any charts. Well, I guess that's the way it is. So we're coming down. We're coming down at about 2,300 feet per minute. That's cool because we're not going to land there. We're just going to kind of overfly it and then move on to November Z Quebec uniform. But I'll head down to the beach and then hang a right and then go past the airport. But that's where we came from just now. That's superb. That's amazing. I don't normally spend this much time in GA in MSFS. Okay, yeah, roughly 2,300 feet for a paved strip. Should be fine with this aircraft. Should be. Last summer I went to Alaska and I miss being up there. Okay, so I think that's the airport right there. I could be wrong. No, no, no. That's the airport right here. Unless that's it. It's one of the two. That's probably a road. And that's probably the airport. Grass turnaround pad. It's kind of nice to be out here. Not gonna lie, it's a definite change of pace from what I usually do. Yoink. Yoink. Let's avoid becoming permanent residents. We'll hook around the hill and then follow the coast up. Oh, they're both strips. Okay, cool. I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to get better at actually creating airports, and I'm really trying to just get down to the bottom line of what it is that I want to enjoy doing. I like starting projects. I like building things. I like creating airports. I know creating airports takes time. You, I've tried to do this multiple times before, and I can't seem to crank out even a basic airport in a day in a single stream. But there's a lot to be done if you're going to be taking a basic airport in the sim and turning it into something that's worth downloading on flightsim.to. You have to consider whether or not you're going to redo the runway surfaces, the taxiways, create custom objects, add more, what are they called? Add more building archetypes to the lay of the land. It does require some discipline and some commitment. You approach right over the mouth of the river. Oh, I see. Okay, so my nose is almost totally pointing at it. Strippers grass and cuts into the trees. Kurt DZ, welcome aboard, my friend. Happy to have you. Just doing a chill stream tonight on Wednesday. Tomorrow, I am most definitely not going to be on. I have IRL work obligations that are going to cut into the evening, possibly into the late evening, so I'm not sure what's up. I'm still kind of waiting to find out what's going to happen. Otherwise, though, I'm doing some flights in Microsoft Flight Sim just for fun, and then I might stop by Kilo Lima Foxtrot Tango just to do a little bit of dev work, and then we'll call it a night. It's about 11:22 local time. All right. I think we're going to overfly the airport first just to get an idea for where we need to approach it from. And you approach it from the mouth of the river. Let's figure this out. So weird. I guess that's... Wait, that's the literal... Hmm. That's it? Wow. No, wait. Let's get turned around. Preferably without crashing, DIGI. How familiar am I with livery painting? I'm more familiar with Blender than I am livery painting, but I mean, there's no time like the present to learn. Oh, there's the airstrip. Duh. I have never done livery painting for airplanes. I'm very curious about it, though. To be honest, I might actually start getting into it in the not too distant future. I mean, technically, this looks straight enough to land an airplane. I mean, I am flying with updated Bing imagery, so that's one reason why. This could also be the airport. Is that it? That looks more like a dry riverbed. I wouldn't mind learning, to be honest. I wouldn't. If it's a paved strip, then how come I didn't see it? That's weird. Let me zoom back out. Yeah, it's literally on the beach, and all it is just sand. Ah, I get you. It's paved. All right. Well, there's one more runway, excuse me, there's one more airport up the way. It looks like November Z, Quebec, Echo. So let's have a little bit more fun. One more run, and we're gonna pick that place to land at. And then I definitely will stop, go back to the main menu, and load into Lafayette and see what else we can work on while we chat. And for those of you that are curious or that are wondering, Mrs. Digi is on the mend. She is recovering. We had we had a bit of an action-packed weekend. We had 2 trips to the ER and learned quite a bit more about post-op care than I remember learning about in recent history. But other than Mrs. Digi feeling crummy, I am grateful that she is still kicking it. And it takes, like it's going to take a while for her to get through the rest of her recovery, but also grateful that it is just recovery and not something significantly worse that we're dealing with. Huh. Okay. More obvious airstrip. We'll take more obvious. Thank you. This is kind of fun. Not gonna lie. Don't want to get too much altitude. Probably gonna keep it around 1,600 feet or lower. This is kind of fun. I am definitely picking up winds coming off the mountains. There's no question. Okay, now we're coming up on the airport. Oh, wow. So there we go. Let's start descending. Yes, yes. So am I, Kurt. So am I. And can I see the runway from here? Ooh, I can see something. Definitely in the more obvious airstrip category. Okay, I've got a slight tailwind. But again, this is, whatchamacallit, we're not using live weather, so I'm not worried about that per se. Alright, we're full flaps. Let's see if we can't actually do a halfway decent landing in this thing. I will admit to being underqualified in short field aircraft. Let's see if we can clear those rocks. Oh, we made it. Will we go off the side? Let's see. We might, or at least we'll be on the rocks. There we go. In the rough, but still on the tarmac. I'll take that as a win. All right. I did not know that this was November Z Quebec Echo. This is Gorge River Airstrip. Okay. All right. So, not a bad way to make an entrance, I'd say. Let me back off the overgrowth here, just a touch. And let me take a look at this place. Hold on, though. Parking brakes still won't go off. Wow. This is kind of neat. Hello? Anyone home? Anybody need anything delivered? I guess not. Wow. Just look at this place, though. It's kind of foggy. This is honestly one of the most realistic looking areas that I've seen. NZA simulations. It's lovely. It is absolutely lovely. It looks great, and it's definitely got just this homegrown feeling without being over the top. Oh, it's a marine reserve. Mine. Anything in here? Oh, yeah, yeah. Outline of a. Ooh, this is animated. Nice, nice, nice flora and fauna. That's nice. That is pretty cool. Where would we go from here? It was November Z 17 and November Z Hotel Tango. Okay, that's probably the one that's actually paved, but that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Yeah, and I guess that's where I started out. Not bad. Not bad. Okay, let me go ahead and cut out to Lafayette at this point and have a little bit of fun. I'll probably be on for like another 30-ish minutes at least. So let's go and find Lafayette and load in. I will show you what I have been working on recently. And I am using the updated Bring imagery to give me a sense of the current layout. The work done to date is rough, and it's basically mostly groundwork. But once I get the groundwork out of the way, once I get the taxiways painted, gummed up a little bit, made dirty, lines, appropriate parking areas and whatnot, then we're going to be able to start working on placing objects and most likely custom objects there as well. So we'll see. I might not do much tonight considering what time it is. I might just um, do a little bit of retro gaming once I'm done streaming today. But appreciate you guys stopping by and saying hello. If you're a lurker and you are lurking right now, thank you for doing so. You are boosting the channel algorithm, so thank you. Never feel like you have to do anything. You don't have to talk, you don't have to follow, you don't have to do anything. If you're just lurking, you're helping out. Now, if you want to chat, that's great. So don't feel bad about chatting. By all means, step right up. Last time I was here, I was working on the fresh asphalt for the terminal drive because we've got the new terminal there. The old terminal was here. It's going to be something else, or it is something else. I think it's either another parking lot or some other building. I forget what it's supposed to be, but one step at a time, right? let me open up either Bing Maps or Google Maps because I want to see what actually is there right now, or at least recently. Okay, so all it is basically I guess they're going to be building some uh, rental car drop-off areas, I guess. And then you have the other side here where you pick up the rental car to drive. And then we have the basic tarmac for the GA area. This is airliners. This is a leftover of what used to be there for, say, the old design for the taxiways. That taxiway is gone now, and I probably need to clean it up even more than this, but we'll do it one step at a time. And there's going to be some, I guess, some private hangars here, which is what I believe these are. Unless, of course, I'm missing something. No, I think these are private hangars. Up here, at least. And then we will work on... I don't know if I want to map these roads at all. I'm not that worried about it, but at the same time, I think I started doing that at the bottom by the cargo ramp. Oh, definitely, Kurt. I'd be more than happy to pass on everything I know about scenery dev. Maybe I'll make a little class on it. I wouldn't mind that. If I could do scenery dev and I could pass on my knowledge to others, that'd be great. And make it such a way that I would be able to champion the cause of scenery dev in FS 2024. Because I think it'd be great, if you know the nuances of your airfields where you live, and you want to make it so that other people can actually go there and recognize the places they fly out of. That's the goal for me. It's literally doing those things so that you can actually get people to recognize and see places that they've spent time in and be like, oh, wait a minute, I know this place, I got my license here, or stuff like that. That's the goal. So what I'm doing is I'm filling up the holes slowly. I started working on the cargo ramp, and I'm going to be adding some stuff back in, and I started working on adding parking areas, and I'm going to be adding buildings back in here. So last time I was here, I worked on adding the roads and the structures. Well, not the structures, not yet at least, but the roads. And what I can probably do is continue the roads here so that we can actually get the roads actually looking halfway decent. Not that you would be taxing on them, but basically so that you could actually believe this place is a functioning airport. So I'm a believer of basically if you add chunks at a time, no matter how much or how little you add on a given day, you'll move the needle. You'll actually contribute to your project. Like, if you read like one page of a book a day, in 365 days, you'll have read 365 pages. So, little steps, big impact, right? Right. At least that's my goal right now. That's what I intend to do. So right now we're adding some extra detail to the roads out here so that again we can make it apparent that there are roads to hangars or to parts of the complex that exist. And if this is you and you're learning and you're trying to grow and become somebody that creates airports for people in Microsoft Flight Sim, This is cool. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Um, if this is what you want to do, then, ask me questions. Let me know what you think, what you're trying to accomplish, what you'd like to make. And I've been more than happy to pass on what I know about scenery development to you so that you can actually create cool things and turn your imagination loose and just create representations of the airports in your local area so that even though sometimes the computer generated airports can take a pretty good stab at what those airports are supposed to look like, you can make them a lot better. And the point of doing this is not at first to be like, oh man, I'm going to build the next, like, Charles de Gaulle in France. I'm going to build the next JFK. I mean, for me personally, that's a great way to burn out. It's you're going to find really quickly that it's something which um, is hard to do on a large scale at first, unless you have a very good idea of what it is you're trying to accomplish. I'm not saying it's impossible for one person to create very large airports by themselves. Some people have done that for years. I just think it's challenging to do without having a very good idea of what it is you're going for. I guess that's the point I'm trying to make. How you feeling? Oh, there we go. One of the cats was probably going somewhere they weren't supposed to. They were intercepted by Mrs. DIGI. So, this is what I do sometimes if I'm not streaming and I am listening to somebody on Twitch or otherwise. I will try to put in an extra bit of scenery dev, and there are multiple projects. There's so many projects that I have in the back burner that I need to get back to finishing. Um, but just in case anybody was wondering or concerned whether or not me getting FS 2024 meant that I was going to completely drop off FS 2020, I'm probably going to have both FS 2020 and FS 2024 installed on my system, especially if 2024 only takes about 50 some odd gigs at the outset. I could probably uninstall other programs that I have. I might take advantage of the opportunity to finally get rid of P3D, although to be honest, I'm probably not going to do that. I'm probably going to put my hard drive on a really good diet and move anything and everything I can off my NVMe drive to a backup drive. And then I can install FS 2024 and I can have both sims running, not side by side at the same time, but I can have them both. I can continue developing for both of them. Although, if you're on my Discord at all, you've probably already learned my kind of manifesto, if you will, for scenery dev is going to be different based on the ecosystem that I'm in. I haven't heard anyone say something to the effect of, I am not going to buy FS 2020 at all. I just want to stay with FS 2020 lately. It doesn't mean that there are people that are going to choose not to buy FS 2024. I'm sure there will be. Some people will probably be happy to stay with FS 2020. Some people will probably just choose not to buy FS 2024 just as a personal decision, and then they will stick around there for a while. Whatever the case may be, I'm fairly sure, like pretty close to 1,000% sure, there's not going to be a mass uninstallation of FS 2020. Not Not, at least not for another 3 to 6 months after release. I have a feeling that FS 2020 is probably going to continue operating unless FS 2024 takes off and gets such a warm reception, technical alphas notwithstanding, that people are going to say, okay, well, I'm on board, and I'm simply just going to go ahead and remove FS 2020 because there's no point in me having it if I can do pretty much everything I can do in FS 2020, FS 2024, and then I can just say, like, no, that's basically it. Like, I'm done. So I can see that. I can see that happening, quite possibly. Is that what's going to happen? I don't know, but we'll see. And I'd say about here for here. All right, now we're going to go ahead and bring the other endpoints around, and that should probably get this road drawn. People are looking at this and going, Digi, fly more. This is boring. Well, I mean, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so I've been told. Um, if this is boring, then scenery development may not be for you. You may be more of a consumer of flight sim content. And um, with only a few, what would we call them, provisos? With only a few exceptions, I would imagine most of the FS 2024 content that's out there is going to be able to take mods, scenery airport, airplane mods from FS 2020 without too much of a change. What will probably happen is that some of them may need to be updated slightly. Although, from what I heard, there's going to be a legacy flight model for aircraft that is going to probably be applied to FS 2020 aircraft by default. So, barring any custom WASM or like custom logic applied to airports as well, I would imagine most airports or most simple or less intense representations of airports should be able to transfer with no problem. What am I going to do in terms of airport development? For FS 2024, I'm probably going to start from scratch, which means I'm probably going to create um, Higginsville and Kilo Hotel, India Golf, Kilo Romeo, Charlie Mike, um, Charlie Zulu, Victor Lima, and several other airports from scratch. I have mulled this over for a while, and I've considered the idea of either kickstarting a Patreon or doing something where I can get people to provide monthly support to be able to bootstrap the business so that I could actually do this full time. I think I'd like that. I think I'd like to be able to create airports or to help to create a better create a better modded experience for people that want to become scenery developers in FS 2024. And I don't know, maybe even collaborate with Asobo directly. But I need to make sure that I take care of a few of the priorities first. And anybody that's on my Discord will probably be clued into what it is that I want to do, or what it is that I'm going to try to accomplish in the near future. With all my yapping, we are actually getting this thing done, so I might actually text you up another road. Airport design in FS 2020 is basically an exercise in you deciding what you want to include and what you want to exclude. So that's something you can choose to do or not do. Stand by, chat. Okay, just finished something. I was just talking about figuring out how to do this on a more permanent basis. Oh my word, I'm sorry, I missed some of your comments, guys. But yeah, smaller GA fields getting overlooked by developers? Um, yeah, I think that's kind of par for the course, and not necessarily because people are dipping on GA field development in MSFS. I think it's just because of the fact that most of the bigger news happens with bigger airports. You know, LA, Paris, like Paris Orly, Paris Charles de Gaulle, Nice, Innsbruck, like, you know, Amsterdam, like all those other places where people like to fly big heavy aircraft into. And it's kind of like, well, GA airports are where people start and get their license, and they begin. They literally begin. And you can't just, like, in The Sims, many of us pretend to be, you know, heavy aircraft pilots and fly lots of people around, and that is fun. Believe me, because that's the thing I do. But I'm not going to pretend and say, oh, yeah, like, I want to get my pilot's license. It's like, well, yeah, you have to go to a small airport to do that. What? I can't just jump into a 737 and fly it? No, you can't do that. And honestly, Kurt, I have given a few models of business some consideration. And I think the more sustainable methods involve mitigating risk by bringing people on that do different things. And that's probably, I mean, that's how most businesses operate anyway. You have certain people that are good at doing certain things. You have other folks that work in other departments. You have folks that do things like, for example, handling uh, accounting, legal, HR, like all the things. And essentially, some companies do actually stay solopreneur or sole proprietorships for a long time and eventually become kind of like small operated shops. and some stay that way forever, and they just like achieve what it is they're looking for and they move on. But at the same time, you know, the thing that a lot of us fail to understand is that when you do everything yourself, you have a lot to handle. So everything from bootstrapping your business to marketing your business to promoting yourself to taking on project work. But I said this before, and I'll probably say it again for a few. The way that my life is right now, there's this thing called, the pain of staying the same versus the pain of change. And eventually what happens is you get to a place where it's like, the like you run out of room to deal with life the way you used to or you usually do, because it's like, well, you got to do this and this and this, and your situation changes, and you suddenly can't operate the way you could at your normal job, because it's just not meeting your needs, or you have more expenses that your job isn't helping you provide for. So you have to get a second job, or you have to figure out something better to do with your time, or figure out how to make your job work for you. And I don't know, but in one sense, it's like, well, what else am I gonna do? Like I kind of have to start taking the bull by the horns and be like, well, I need to take care of my family better. And it's not even a question of going, oh, well, I don't know. Like, I like doing my hobby. I'm not sure I want to give it up to make it a job. Like, I've kind of had a plan. Like, all of us move on from things over time. I like flying fake planes, but I will be the first person to tell you that I gravitate now more than I used to towards building things for the sim and spending less time flying in the sim. Does that mean I don't want to fly in Microsoft Flight Simulator anymore? No, I do. But my inclination now is more towards creating things, and creating things people can use and download and enjoy. And that's probably not going to go away anytime soon. And with things going the way they have, and me trying to understand, hey, this works a certain way, this doesn't work a certain way, like, I need to make a very clear decision about how I'm going to spend my time. And that's kind of the deal. Like, it's almost like the idea of starting my own business is becoming less and less crazy. In Iowa, Scotsman, hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. Happy to have you with us today. Iowa Scotsman, like Kurt, DZ, and Mwendo, definitely a friend of the channel. And folks, if you're not following Iowa Scotsman, please feel free to do so. And if you're not following my friend Kurt DZ, please do so as well. That goes to all my lurkers. I don't ask for much, but please give these folks a look if you haven't already done so, if you like Flight Sim content. Iowa, we were talking about business ideas, potentially launching my business on a much more committed level than I have been, and also just trying to figure out how to make that actually possible. But um, you know, one step at a time, right? One step at a time. And this is probably going to be just a touch darker. We'll leave it like that for now. And now we have a road that kind of services the area between the helicopter companies and the cargo ramp. So I am very slowly actually adding things. And look, a wild window appears. Welcome, friend. That's kind of cool. Um, you can't see these taxiways clearly, but this is what I'm working on for you and for various other, uh, you know, consumers of this project once it's done. So we got work to do. We definitely got work to do. I wonder if I wonder if Melinda was like, I wonder if he notices that I'm flying into the airport. That's funny. That's funny. I almost want people to spawn in now, but that's great. Um, Clearly, we're going to have well marked out runways and taxiways. This this taxiway may have to go on a diet because I just kind of assumed shapes and whatnot. But again, I do need to finish working on these, and then I can finish putting all these other materials down, start adding buildings back in, and I might make custom buildings that are really, really simple, that don't have interiors, or that have very basic interiors, just to prevent a huge drop in frame rate when you load in. Because I'm trying to learn that. I'm trying to create sceneries that are useful, beneficial, and fun to look at and interact with. But naturally, there's a lot of stuff to do. A lot of stuff to do. I don't, I'm a doofus. I don't like asking for help. But growing a business does take capital. Uh, I'm trying to figure out how to actually kick this off and get it going. I am definitely going to consider creating a Patreon or Kickstarter or Indiegogo fund to turn this into an actual sustainable business. Because here's what would happen if I actually did this for a living. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Create an interior, but make it minimalist. I don't think people are going to care if the interiors of complex airports are basically pseudo 3D illusions or like 2D graphics of popular stores and whatnot slapped onto basic polygons. A lot of folks look at those things as eye candy, but at the same time, they just want the airport to function, to look the way it does in real life. I get you. That's kind of what I'm shooting for. I'm trying to actually make this really beneficial and such. But in case anybody was actually truly 100% curious, let me step you through what it is that I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get to the point where this is what I do on a regular basis. I'm trying to create content. And not necessarily to create airport after airport after airport that sells. Yes, I am going to create some payware products to generate an income, but I also want to do things like advance the cause of scenery development, make using the SDKs more easy because I would explain things to people. Maybe start my own YouTube channel. Maybe create a very basic course to create an airport, kind of like I try to do on stream. But of course, I'm also having wonderful conversations with you all, so I appreciate that. But if I did this full time, I would spend time properly handling and promoting the brand. I would spend time creating airports. I would spend time building models in Blender. I would spend
World
time
Travel 268, welcome St.
learning.
Martin, turn left next taxiway.
Are you kidding me? I just, oh man, thank you. Thank you so much for the donation. I really appreciate that. Um, Stuff like that would go towards, uh, creating fun little bits of swag, like my crash to desktop idea. I think no one has taken it because no one in their right mind wants to call a company crash to desktop. No one that is except me. And it's a fun idea, and I would make it part of the experience and really use that to connect with people and to really understand what it is they want out of the sceneries that they fly to in Microsoft Flight Sim. But being a successful scenery development company involves not just creating airports, not just putting content out there in FlightSim.to or SimMarket or everywhere it is that you go, but also connecting with people, finding out what people want. I have like 30 or so examples of airports people don't see in the sim that they want to fly to that aren't done up in a better way. So part of my mission is going to be building those airports, promoting them, helping people understand what scenery development's all about, connecting with Asobo, connecting with Microsoft, potentially one day becoming a marketplace partner, and learning what the process is and why creating scenery and updating scenery in the marketplace, based on what I've heard, sucks. So I want to learn and I want to do stuff like that for other people. So definitely, definitely trying to grow that is something which takes time. Takes time, takes effort, takes commitment. And that's the kind of thing that I want to do. Um, there's two ways that I can do this. I can keep doing it an inch at a time, a stream at a time, building this airport bit by bit, by literal, like virtual brick by virtual brick, and creating things that basically make the experience more enjoyable for myself and others. Also, I can go the full-fledged route and turn it into something which I engineer to, earn an income and to basically replace my other gig that I do as an IRL software developer and do this full time and learn about WASM and coding and applying my skill sets to doing this. It's it's a big thing. It's an undertaking, and honestly, I need to spend time thinking about it. But don't be surprised if you see Patreon or a kind of like funding round start from me this year before the year is out to figure out what I can do and how I can actually commit more time and resources to actually turning this into a full-time profession. Because if I don't do that this year, I'm going to permanently, once and for all, stop thinking about scenery development as a business idea and relegate it to the status of a beloved pastime and hobby, which I like doing. I like talking about this. Very few of the folks are going to be sitting in front of a computer looking at, polygons and lines and maps and stuff like that so that they can actually create things for people to download. I just happen to like it to the extent that I like going to places folks don't see airports being made and I make them. That's what I like. That's kind of the thing that drives me, being able to provide a service for people like this. So that's part of what I'm trying to do or trying to accomplish. And that's kind of it. Um, is it something that's sustainable? I have to do a little bit more research, but I'd like to think it is. I'd like to think doing something like this would allow me to I don't know, spend more time thinking about aviation, spend more time thinking about airports and the flights and the travel that I take. Maybe doing things that positively impacts people, like creating airports where they grew up, where they trained, um, creating an experience for local and regional airports that want to drum up more business. And I mean, in one sense, you could go the silly route and say, yeah, I'm not sure if you want to advertise that you're going to stick your airport in Microsoft Flight Simulator. And to that, I would answer, well, why not? If you're going to stick a newly built regional airport in front of thousands of people that say, oh, wait a minute, I didn't know that Savannah had another regional airport. Now I don't have to drive like an hour to the international airport to go fly to Port St. Lucie. I could go up the street, 20 minutes, hop on an Embraer and fly down there. So I don't know if we're going to hit that stride anytime soon, but at the same time, um, why couldn't we? It is definitely something that I have to consider, but at the same time, I will gladly, um, think about it because I want to. Because I want to get projects like this finished, and I want to have the ability to take better care of my family and Mrs. Digi, who again is on the mend, and she's a tough cookie. She's just got some time, and she needs some equipment to get her business kicked off again. So, I'd like to do stuff like that for others so that I could actually, uh, you know, help my family and, in one sense, help my community as well, my flight sim community. But let's see. It is almost about 12:15 a.m. my time, so I'm probably going to go ahead and wrap it up for tonight. I will continue working on Lafayette for the foreseeable future, but I'm also going to have to figure out how to also split my time between airports, one or two other airports like Plymouth Municipal, because I've been working on that airport for a couple of years, and honestly, I should probably try to wrap it up very soon. There's plenty of work that I need to do to actually complete it, but it's not that I don't want to do it. It's just that I have to figure out, you know, timing, scheduling, things like that. Am I really that busy? No. Is my brain all over the place? Yes. So, um, stay tuned. And you know what? Hold on a moment. I should have my. Yeah, I do. Okay. So, just in case you are not a member of the Discord, there's your link. Feel free to join. Um, there's a rules page you can go to accept the rules of the site, and then you can stay tuned to my vlogs. Well, not vlogs, but basically my chats and my announcements for upcoming streams, which I need to do a better job of announcing, and also scenery development discussions and software and things of that nature. Again, I will be off tomorrow due to existing IRL obligations. And Wendo, I definitely appreciate your support of Crash to Desktop designs or Crash to Desktop simulations. Name in progress, but there's definitely Crash to Desktop is the design arm. I think having swag like that for the next expo would be hilarious. I would totally get a shirt that says Crash to Desktop Designs and walk around, hand out swag, and be like, hey, I'm Digi. I'm the owner of Crash to Desktop Designs. How can I help you? And people will be like, wait a minute, you design scenery that makes my PC crash to desktop? No. But I like to joke about that because all of us get frustrated at scenery that crashes the desktop, and I'm trying to create better scenery that's more respectful of your resources so that you can enjoy flight simming and go into places that you like. So, there's my elevator pitch. What was that, about 60 seconds? I'm still working on the pitch deck, so there we go. I really, really, really appreciate you guys stopping by tonight. It's been an utter privilege having you here. And Wendo, thank you so much for the donation. Really appreciate it. The fact that you even did that, it just just stupefies me, irregardless of the donation amount. The support that you guys give the channel is wonderful, and I respect that. I will probably be back on Friday night late for a complete chill down stream, maybe trucking, maybe flying considerably longer than we did earlier on stream, in an airliner, whether or not it's going to be an Embraer, a 737-600, or a 787, we'll see. But if I'm not flying, I'll be driving. And if I'm not flying and I'm not driving, I'm probably going to be retro gaming. So feel free to tune in. I'll try to announce it. I'll keep you guys posted on the Discord. And we'll see what happens. In the meantime, so much love to all of you. I really appreciate you guys coming by tonight saying hello. And like I always like to say at the end of every stream, if you don't have true peace, you want the Prince of Peace. And that's Jesus Christ. My friends, God bless you. Have a great rest of your evening. Hopefully your Thursday turns out to be awesome. Mine could be fairly epic. That's all I can say. But suffice it to say, as long as I can get through it just fine, regardless of when I wrap up tomorrow night, which could be as early as, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 o'clock, or it could be as late as like 1:30 or 2:30 the next day. I'll see what happens. But stay tuned, everybody. God bless you all, and have a great night. Till next time, we'll see ya.